Proposed ART Line Phase 1 for Metro Cebu. In 2019, DOTR under the Duterte administration proposed 2 ART alignments in Metro Cebu. This is the longer of the 2 proposed alignments that we will refer to as the TOPS IT Park Aerial Tram Line. An aerial tram is a type of ART or cable car. Former DOTR Secretary Arthur Tugade personally promoted this alignment in one of his visits to Cebu just before the start of COVID lockdown in March 2020. This is the proposed integrated intermodal transport system for Metro Cebu. It consists of 7 ART lines, 2 LRT lines, and at least 2 BRT lines. The Cebu BRT started construction in 2023. 2 LRT lines have already been conceptualized by a 2019 JICA Transportation Master Plan study. This is the DOTR proposed ART alignment. We are proposing to extend this line to CICC Mandaue to make the line more attractive to investors. The 6 other ART lines are proposed by the Metro Cebu ART team and Doppelmayr for consideration by potential investors. We are excluding the TOPS to Marco Polo section in the urban ART line. This section is a touristic line that has a much lower passenger demand. A different and lower capacity aerial tram is proposed for this section. This is the Dubrovnik Touristic Aerial Tram. The passenger cabin can be partially seen here. The upper station is beside this viewing area. The conditions of the Cebu TOPS aerial tram will be similar to this tram. This is the TOPS viewing area. This is the upper station and this is the lower station. This is the top view alignment of the Dubrovnik aerial tram. Similarly, this would be the top view alignment of the TOPS aerial tram. The system is composed of only 2 cabins that simultaneously travel back and forth in opposite direction. This previously shown aerial tram cabin would be the most suited type of cabin for the TOPS Marco Polo line. This detachable ART cabin would be the most suited type of cabin for the urban ART network in Metro Cebu. This alignment is the proposed 6-station Cebu ART Phase 1 that connects to the TOPS aerial tram. This is the urban ART aerial tram interchange. In the tram station, there will be a cabin available for a ride every 8 to 15 minutes depending on the model that will be installed. In any of the ART stations, there will be an ART cabin available for a ride every 8 to 9 seconds. This is an example of an ART aerial tram interchange in Mount Titlis, Switzerland. The Marco Polo interchange will be similar to this example. An interchange requires a passenger to go down to transfer from one line to another. An interchange is needed since a monocable ART and an aerial tram are 2 different types of cable-propelled transit. The ride transfer will usually take only about 1 to 2 minutes. This is a view of the 6 stations overlain on a road map of Metro Cebu. This table will give viewers an idea of the travel time of the proposed ART systems Phase 1 in Metro Cebu. The touristic TOPS Marco Polo ART can be traveled in 6 to 13 minutes depending on the model of the aerial tram. The urban Marco Polo to CICC ART line can be traveled in 22 to 24 minutes. ART is 2 to 5 times faster than by car. It is 3 to 7 times faster than by jeepney or minibus. Travel time is predictable since the ART is not affected by traffic on the ground. It does not travel along a road like BRT and LRT, which is always a longer route. Instead, it takes shortcuts between 2 stations. ART travel speed and embarkation or disembarkation time is the same from opening hours to closing hours. This table shows the funding schemes that are possible for an ART system. It is arranged according to its likelihood of being utilized. In addition to funding schemes, government incentives may be provided to attract more potential investors. Other funding schemes, such as the Traffic Crisis Act, will be discussed in another chapter video. The most successful source of funding in terms of monetary value for major infrastructure projects over the last several decades have been PPP. This will be the priority funding scheme that is used in this chapter video. This is a table consisting of PPP transport projects and non-transport projects that have been completed or are currently under construction. All these projects make use of land use rights to help finance the project. The Metro Cebu ART Phase 1 project can be financed by the application of land use rights. 6 to 12 hectares of land may be provided by the government for the 6 stations with additional commercial development. A concession period of 25 to 35 years may be granted. The project is estimated to cost around $230 million. At the end of the concession period, all facilities will belong to the government. This will dramatically increase the assets of Cebu City that can be used to provide more services to its constituents in the future. Rationale of land use rights. This is a similar view of the stations overlain on a satellite map of Metro Cebu. In BRT and LRT, the stations have to be placed in the middle of the road. In ART, it can be placed anywhere. Because of this feature, it is easier for ART to take advantage of land use rights to help finance an ART project. The ART station is usually placed where the cost of right-of-way is the least. This is a comparison of 2 ART lines with a similar passenger capacity. This is an intermediate station in Saint-Denis, France. It has only 1 story. The passenger platform is at ground level. This is an intermediate station in La Paz, Bolivia. It has 3 stories. The passenger platform is on the 3rd level. This station is much bigger because it has commercial spaces integrated into the station. There are even bigger stations in La Paz, particularly at interchange stations. The bigger the station, the more commercial spaces that can be accommodated at the station. The following are sample commercial spaces at the ART stations in La Paz, Bolivia. More photos. The commercial establishments can be inside the station or at the exterior of the station building. For the succeeding part of this video, we will focus on some details of each station. We start with Station 1, the Marco Polo station, and end at Station 6, the CICC station. The Marco Polo station is located on a vacant lot that is adjacent to the south of Marco Polo Hotel. These pink polygons are for possible additional commercial spaces. A road intersection is constructed to provide convenient access to the station. These parking spaces are provided for connecting buses and jeepneys. These are parking spaces provided for bicycles. They can also be electric scooters, which are increasingly becoming popular in other cities worldwide. Bikes and electric scooters are for first and last mile travel, such as from your home or towards your office. In Latin American countries, electric scooters share with bike lanes. Parking spaces for bikes and electric scooters are provided at or near mass transportation systems. There is very little vacant space at this proposed JY station, so an area with small and less expensive buildings is chosen. This will minimize the right-of-way acquisition by the government as much as possible. This JY station is an intermediate station. The double-headed red arrows beside the building protrusions are the entry and exit points of the ART cabins from or towards other stations. This is an actual street photo of the JY intersection. The station is proposed to be located in this corner. If this property is too expensive for the government to expropriate, the station can be placed above this intersection. An ART station can also be located in the middle of the road, like an LRT or BRT. An example of this is White Line Station in La Paz, Bolivia. This is the front view and this is the top view. In this case, there is no space to put commercial establishments inside the station as an added incentive to investors to finance the ART line. One disadvantage of putting a station on top of a road is that the massive structures uglifies the city skyline. This is the reason that among the 26 stations of the La Paz ART network, only one is above the road. This IT Park station is located mainly on a government lot beside a flyover. The Cebu Business Park or CBP station is partly located on a vacant lot at CBP. CBP is a 45-hectare commercial complex that is populated by high-rise buildings and owned by the Ayala Group. It has no direct access to any mass transportation system and is one of the most heavily congested parts of Metro Cebu. CBP may want to donate a lot for the station since the benefits derived will be far greater than the cost of its donation. The location of the Subang Dako ART station is currently occupied by two low-rise government buildings, a post office and a land transportation office. This station will also be adjacent to the location of an LRT station. An elevated pedestrian tube can be constructed to connect the two stations. If a multi-story commercial building can be built by the ART proponent, the displaced government offices can occupy part of the modern and bigger building when it is finished. The CICC station is proposed to be located on a vacant lot beside the CICC. If this lot is too expensive for the government to acquire, the ART station can be integrated in the CICC station during its rehabilitation.